Jenny, it is super exciting to be talking with you. I am just blown away by what I saw on your Instagram feed. You were out at the University of Kentucky. Tell us what happened. Take us through it.
Well, this is just all a miracle. We are on our 12th university. Next week we will go to 13th at Ohio State, and in every single case it has been miraculous. I mean, so many kids show up to a free event. So many kids come forward, confess sin, follow Jesus, and we're baptizing usually into the morning, and it's unlike anything I've ever seen. It's unlike anything I've even been bold enough to pray for until recently, and it's a ministry called Unite that just was the heart of my friend Tanya Pruitt, and her first vision was on Auburn's campus, and it has just we never dreamed when JP and I said yes to that event, we never dreamed we would be on this wild ride with her all of this time later.
It's amazing. I mean, you and I have talked a number of times about this as the journey has gone on. And each time that we have spoken, I've been blown away by the details. I think back to the young people getting baptized in the backs of pickup trucks, right in front of the fraternity. When you told me that story, I was blown away. But one of the things, even looking at the images and the videos that you shared from, the other night, was the fact that you had thousands of young people who came to this. You said it's a free event, obviously. How do students come in? How do you guys reach them to let them know it's happening?
So all of us are invited by a local student team that does all of this work. This student team was so special. They not only invited their campus, which they always have to, they have to raise money, they have to garner just the support, they have to rent the arena. And so it really is impressive that every one of these events has been spearheaded by a student led team. And this team specifically, we heard the stories, they were on fire and they were believing God for the miracles that happened last night. And honestly, when we got there, they were emotional already at all that God had done. They prayer walked around their campus for 42 miles.
Wow.
They
Wow.
they I know, they just were special. Like they really, really, really believed God. And it was so cool. At the end of the night, Tanya brought up that whole team, and they were standing on stage looking out at all the people. So many people had come forward to receive Christ, and I mean, I know it was very emotional for them, but it really feels very much about them, led by them. We're serving this vision that is just it's truly a movement. We can't believe it's happening.
I mean, you're talking about 7 to 8,000 people coming to the event. You're talking about, from what, and correct me if I'm wrong on these numbers, around 2,000 people, let's say, coming forward to accept Christ. When you hear numbers like that and you see movement like that, there's nothing else you could say outside of it has to be God, right? I mean, like,
It
this is not
has
something
to
I've
be
ever
God, and
seen.
I don't know the numbers, I haven't heard them yet, but so I can't confirm or deny those numbers. It felt like masses that I can't imagine anybody could have counted it, but I mean, yeah, it is only God, and here's what's wild is in a couple weeks, we'll go live with Gather 25, and when we do, what you're going to see is that this is happening all over the world on every continent. It is happening with this age group, and it's so bizarre. I just got to preview all of the videos, and like one of them was from Germany. Germany, and it felt like the same things we're seeing on the campuses here. So I would just say it has to be God. Nobody's talking to each other. Asbury starts. This just there's this ripple effect right now that's happening all over the world. It is too much to take in, and so I don't know what's happening. I would call it near awakening. I don't know that we're there yet, but when that much revival is happening and it smells similar and it looks similar and it's happening all over the world, and we aren't talking. I mean, they're not talking to each other, London and Germany, I don't think. And so we're about to show it, and I think anybody that watches it all will go, "Oh my gosh, this has to be a moment in time."
Yeah, I mean, it's some of the numbers coming out. Barna just had a survey, and you probably saw this, showing that 77% of teenagers, in America are at least somewhat interested in learning about Jesus throughout the rest of their life. I mean, these are
Yeah,
numbers that you couldn't have dreamed of 5 years ago,
no.
6 years ago, right? In the UK, young people, I think, are 2 times less likely to be atheistic than their parents' generation. So we're like, to your point, we're seeing this everywhere, and it's incredible to watch. During the event itself last night, what were some of the things that you saw? Because there was confession of sin. I mean, take us through some of those visuals.
Yeah, so it's such a beautiful, just simple program. We usually will start with this last night. Tanya talked about purpose and a vision, and then I got up and talked about confession and sin, and then they all. I mean, it's unbelievable. They turned to three friends, and you just can see the lights are up at that point, and you can just see all over the stadium huddles of kids wiping tears, nodding, praying, holding each other. I mean, it's so precious and brave, and then, at the end of that, they stood up and yelled out the thing they were leaving behind. Like, they yelled out this, "Oh, they're sending it." I mean, almost just hurt your ears, like, the stadium shook with them yelling this out and cheering and feeling, you just felt something break in the room, like, there was so much freedom. And then JP gets up and shares the gospel so clearly, so powerfully, and they're just ready. Like, they're on sitting on go. Like, they do not want to miss. It reminds me, I did get to, when I was really young, go to a Billy Graham conference in my hometown, and I couldn't believe it back then. You're like, everybody's just walking forward. That's so crazy, that was wild. And it's like that. You don't understand it. You're like, wait, they're all just coming. And it's so beautiful. And then we baptize. We all go outside. I know it has been every time. We don't always count on it, but now we start to, because there's just
Because
such
it's
a
going to
thing
happen,
happening.
right?
Yeah. Now it's
Yeah.
like, oh yeah, we come to expect that thousands are going to get saved and baptisms are going to happen
Was
all
it
night.
droves of baptism? I mean, was it a ton of people
I
getting
mean,
baptized?
I'm the worst person to ask about numbers, but I mean, we baptized for an hour and a half, 4 different
Wow.
people in the water. So,
A lot of people.
yeah, it was a lot. It was hundreds for
No,
sure.
I think it's good not to obsess over numbers too, because it's easy to, like, everybody loves the big numbers, but what's happening is a lot of young people are finding Jesus, and they're
Yeah,
realizing they've been lied to, maybe, and that there's some amazing truth that they haven't found. And you guys,
yeah. No, it feels
yeah.
like the whole room is just with us. And then you meet these kids afterward. With the baptisms, I actually get to be face to face with them. And I mean, this kid last night, I won't say his name, but he was hysterical. His friend had been praying and invited him, and I think he was just an off the rails guy. And he was like, I was like, "Why are you doing this, dude?" And he said, I'm tired of living the way I was living, and I want something to change." And he goes, "I've been going this way, and now I need to go this way." I was like, "Okay." And the other guy that invited him is like, "I've been praying for him." Like, his life is changing right before our eyes. It's real. It is going this way, and now they're going that way. Like, it is a transformational thing that is happening, and it can only be God.
Well, Jenny, I am excited. I'm going to see you in a couple of weeks at NRB, and we're gonna talk again, and I'm looking forward to that. I appreciate you breaking this all down. Where can people go if they want more information on Unite and what you guys are doing?
Yes. So Unite Movement, if you go to Instagram, it's Unite Us, and go there, follow that account, and then message. I know so many people listening are going, "I want you to go to my kid's school." I get that all the time. And Tanya is so good at just finding the right teams and training the teams. And so go there and tell her, like, okay, come here, come here. We want you
I
here.
love it.
So
I love it. Well, thank you so much, as always. Really appreciate it.
yes, great to be here.